St. Mary's. Ew, private school.
There are a lot of interesting female protagonists, but my two favorite at the moment have to be the one with the pill problem and the other one who's somewhat of a popular loner. What's one thing Rue Bennett from Euphoria and Ginny Miller have in common? That's the fact that both of these girls have a plethora of problems, but I think everybody who's watched Euphoria and Ginny and Georgia already knows that. So today I'm going to be talking about why Rue vs Ginny is not even close. Yeah, they're both mixed, but that's about it. Or is it? Let me explain.
The Big Dipper.
For starters, Rue has a huge drug problem, and this all centers around her father, whereas Ginny just has a problem when it comes to flames being lit. Let's just say she has itchy fingers when it comes to this lighter. She loves flicking it. She likes to harm herself due to her woes of being a girl, dealing with the problems that come with high school, parties, friends, family, oppression, and boys, to name a few. This self-harming problem isn't even the icing on the cake. On top of that, she also has daddy and mommy issues, whereas when it comes to Rue, she kind of gets along with her mom, even though sometimes these two quarrel and Rue's little sister just stands in the corner and watches on helplessly. Almost everyone's family is pretty dysfunctional, so it's not the most upset thing to see on screen, but damn, Gia just be going through it. In Ginny's case, it's kinda the same regarding Austin. Austin is just there and he doesn't really do much except the times when he has these crazy rage moments and bursts of anger, like he almost ended Zach with a pencil for talking too reckless on his kinfolk. Ginny's having a little bit of boy trouble. Okay, so as we all know, in the first season, it was basically a will they or won't they with Marcus. Also, on the other hand, she was busy dating Hunter. This guy is a constant reminder that nice guys finish last. Like in this three-way with Marcus, he came last, cause Marcus came first. I should have worded that differently, but you get what I mean. So Ginny is a whore. Nah, I'm kidding. I guess it's fair to say that she just has too much love to give and she's a confused teenager. I didn't mean it. She's just exploring her options or something. Just know that if this was airing on HBO, they were going to make her have a similar character arc as Cassie. If you know, you know. Rue doesn't really have boy problems. Matter of fact, it's quite the opposite. She has girl problems and her biggest problem is with Jules. Jules is manipulative whilst also being cunning. She only really seems to like this kid when she's down bad. Is Jules a user? Yes. Yes, she is. You see, Rue has invested everything, her time, her life, her thoughts on Jules. All she thinks about is this transfer that's now captivated the attention of a lot of her peers. Whereas Jules likes Rue when it suits her. Once she finds something that's more interesting, that's the moment she forgets about Rue. Like the time she left town and hooked up with someone else, but that's besides the point. I'm just trying to show the contrast between these two female characters. Moving on to a touchy subject for some, let's talk about fathers. Ginny's dad is a deadbeat. Zion is there pretty much to just sleep with his baby mama. Talking to his kid is a second priority. Rue's dad is dead. The only thing we have to reference him is this maroon hoodie she's always wearing. I'm sure the stench on this is crazy. Like I ain't never seen Miss Bennett wash it. Like ever. No, like seriously. Friends, foes, let's just look at the friend dynamics. When it comes to Ginny, she's in the main group and there's this sense of novelty around her because she's the new kid on the block. When it comes to Rue, she's just the black sheep of the main group. Rue's like that one girl in the feminine group that's a tomboy. The parallel here is that they're both odd ducks in their cliques. Rue is friends with these guys because she's known them since elementary school, so it's just that thing of, oh, Rue is here, she's in and out of rehab, let's keep in touch and trauma bond together for future endeavors. Also, Rue's house is like right there. She's been in this town forever, so they are still friends by default, whereas with Ginny it's the complete opposite. She's been moving from town to state, from city to city, so this is the first time she actually has friends and she's doing whatever it takes to fit in. She's drinking, she's fucking, she's partying, whereas Rue is the complete opposite. Rue doesn't even want boys touching her, she only has eyes for Jules. There's a whole episode where we get a flashback on how she lost her V card. The way she's just laying on her back next to the dude who was laying pipe is pretty telling. That expression on her face tells me everything I need to know. She's beyond traumatized and the dude adjacent to her is thrilled that he got to experience Rue's tunnel of pleasure. It was quite an interesting tale. At this point, I'm sure Rue is pretty much asexual, whereas Ginny, on the other hand, you could say that she's liberated. That's me being polite about it. When it comes to these two shows, I guess you can say that one is more realistic than the other, that being Ginny and Georgia. They are both coming of age stories that have female central leads, but I think it's fair to say that Euphoria is a little bit out of pocket. From the very onset of Euphoria, you can see that this is an HBO show. Ginny and Georgia is more tame. It's more family friendly. I found a lot of the plot points to be a little bit more relatable to a larger audience. Euphoria isn't as relatable, it's just for people like me who are extremely unhinged and live on the edge. Euphoria just exaggerates a little bit too much. For example, when I was in high school, I never saw kids at parties doing lines and popping pills, but in Ginny and Georgia, people are smoking pot all the time. They're sneaking out and moms are busy stalking them via Instagram stories. That definitely seems like a suburban mom activity. I related to that. I knew friends who were a little bit lost in life and experimenting, trying to be with the cool kids, so I felt for Ginny sometimes. And also, if you happen to have moved a lot throughout your childhood, you'll relate to Ginny's woes. Rue is a little bit hyperbolic, don't get me wrong, I love Euphoria. Who doesn't like seeing Zendaya run around like a hobo? It's fun, it has its own charm, it's amusing. I love Bennett, but the whole plot of her being an addict in school is a little bit harder to empathize with. So all in all, if we were to put these two and tally them up, it's a no-brainer. It seems like I'm rooting for Ginny and Georgia more, but trust me, I still love Rue Bennett 1,000 times more, but I have to be a non-biased narrator regarding my opinion. I'm just hoping that this show doesn't turn into Riverdale or Shameless. As much as I seem to be shitting on these two characters, I will admit that their personalities do have some similarities. For example, Rue from Euphoria is very self-absorbed, but you can blame this due to the fact that she's never sober, while her counterpart on the other hand, Ginny from Ginny and Georgia, only is concerned with her self-interest. Hence why she was smooching on different people, knowing very well she shouldn't be. She likes the attention because she's not used to getting any. You can say that perhaps that's the reason why she can't decide between Hunter and Marcus, and also the fact that she seems to have a very unstable friend group that also seems to mimic her day-to-day life at home. But these shows continue to pivot in other ways. For instance, I said at the beginning of this video that Euphoria is a little bit more extreme, and there are certain acts in Ginny and Georgia that are clearly in contrast with Euphoria. Obviously, Exhibit A, Georgia has this hidden past. She's not the best mom even though she thinks she is. You could say that's the same with Rue's mom, but at least Rue's mom isn't a stone cold killer. Plus she gets furious when she finds out that her eldest kid is putting substances in her body that shouldn't be there. She's a concerned single mom, that's respectable. Georgia is also single, but the difference is that she's down to mingle like all the time, and she does so with the intent to social climb. Leslie doesn't do that. Well, at least for now. Ginny is always battling between friend groups. At the end of the first season, we see her now trying to fit in with the black kids because her main friend group pretty much disowned her after they found out that she was spreading her legs for Maxine's brother. It honestly just boils down to preference depending on how your life was growing up or just certain experiences. You may relate to Euphoria way more, but if you had a more stable upbringing that wasn't plagued by drama, you may like Ginny instead. Personally, I'm always rooting for Miss Bennett. I relate to Rue when it comes to a lot of aspects of her character and personality traits. I don't really get her when it comes to the whole drug debacle, but hey, it makes for one heck of a story. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is why Rue vs Ginny is not even close. Tell me which character you prefer more down below, and don't forget, love you, mean it, hate you, kidding, bye.
Hey, if you enjoyed this video, consider watching one of the two on your screen right now. And don't forget, villains tell the best story.